Hey Amy, so I'm going to go over a few things and let's jump right in. A lot of people have sugar cravings, and especially in the beginning of training like this. And it's because a lot of people have like a nutrient dense deficiency, almost like they're lacking a lot of the vitamins and superfoods and nutrients in their daily diet, so we naturally crave more sugar. And it's also just habit, like we get into a habit of eating something after dinner that's sweet, and it's just like a cue in our brain, and it's a pattern and it's a habit. So it's more so maybe different placement or a few particular different items, or just fitting it into our day better. And the more muscle you build and the further you get into this journey, you're going to be able to splurge when you want to, and it's not going to have any, negative effects. Even one day of bad eating or a couple of days is not going to set you back to square one. But if you consistently do that each week, then yes, it makes a difference. But these are some zero fat sweets that are so good. So obviously complex carbs are very, very low fat. They're healthy, they're nutrient dense. Things like fruit are zero fat. Things like beans, chickpeas, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, those things are low to zero fat carbs, and they have nutrients in them. So also things like olives, celery, cucumber, those other things I don't really like, and they're not that popular for people to like, but those things are good to snack on as well. Actually, those are no carb snacks, and very low fat as well. Olives actually have a little bit of fat in them, I believe. But anyways, things like sherbet and like those Italian ices are zero fat sweet carbs. So they just have no fat, but they have the carbs in them. So you're not going to gain all of those fats in your day, the fat grams, and go over your fats by eating those. So you can easily fit those in, because some things are high carb and high fat, like muffins and sweets and like sweet pastry type things, cakes. So these are zero fat sweets. So you're still getting in that sweetness, but without the fats in them. So it's good. And right below that, I just wanted to show you a visual of something that's super healthy, like whole grain toast and avocado, placed right next to a candy bar. And they literally have almost the same amount of macros in them. Same amount of calories, the same macros that make up those calories, same carbs, fats, and proteins, pretty much. So we can fit in something that we really want, like a candy bar, but we're not going to be trying to do that every single day. And you'll find it more rewarding, and you'll find yourself more in control and feeling proud and more in control as the weeks go by and as the months go by, with doing these things, with learning how to fit it in better, and actually eating that candy bar that you're craving, but not going over your fats, and learning how to include that in your fat allotment in your day. And also getting in the things you need, like the nutrient dense foods and your protein and whatnot. But the reason people go over their calories is because they consume a lot of higher fat carbs and higher fat proteins, and even things like cheese, nuts, oils, butters. Those things are high fat and high calories. So it's easy to totally go over your calories and fats because of the fat content in foods. So, but you're learning more about it, and that's all that matters. You are going to learn all of the things that are going to enable you to stay in your calorie bracket. And it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're around your calorie bracket and around your macros, you're going to do great. So this is another food list of some zero fat carbs. So things like pretzels. If you're craving something like chips, pretzels are always the best because they have no fat in them. Pizzelles, those little cookies, they're like little wafers on the top left of this. So good. They're sweet. They kind of taste like a little crunchy, like waffle cookie type thing, like wafer. You could put some like Cool Whip on there, and that's like so macro friendly, like no fat. The Goldfish, I love the vanilla cupcake ones. Awesome for a snack. Jello, sugar-free Jello, it's okay. A lot of people like that as something to snack on. That's sweet. I try not to do a lot of sugar-free things, but some things are great, like Jello. Graham crackers, those are awesome. And try graham crackers are good because they taste like you're eating something that you shouldn't. That's a sweet treat. Um, and a lot of things like the Zevia and sugar-free like pops, they're good to drink every once in a while. But if you drink a lot of them every day, the sweeteners can actually make you bloat a lot. So it's just something in moderation, like, one couple a week or something like that, just to curb some pop cravings. These protein bars I really like. They literally taste like a candy bar. I got them from Kroger. But they're so good. I love them. And the only thing I suggest is I put it up here. Try to stay away from anything that has sugar alcohols. A lot of protein bars do, a lot of cookies that say that they have no sugar. A lot of things that say they have no sugar, they either have sugar alcohols in them or the aspartame, which I'd rather have the aspartame than sugar alcohols. Sugar alcohols make you bloat so badly. So if you're going to have something sugar-free, have the things with like aspartame in them. I forgot to put one thing on here that I'm going to tell you about. The Premier protein shakes. A lot of people drink them because they're high protein and they have no sugar in them because they're sweetened with aspartame, but they are so good. I put like a half of one in my coffee. You can drink the rest of it with like on its own. They're great to get in protein. The Premier protein shakes, and they're not expensive. You can get them from like anywhere. I totally forgot to put that on here, but yes, definitely invest in those if you haven't already. So this little chart where it says what I'm looking forward to today and my 3 big things to get done today, that's something I like to fill out and have my clients fill out every single day when they get up. What are the 3 things you want to get done today? The 3 big things, and it could be anything. It doesn't even have to be health and fitness related, because those things are important to you. Those things are going to make you feel accomplished. Those things are pushing the needle forward in your life with getting the things done that you need to get done and completing X, Y, and Z. So when you write them down, you're going to do that. You're going to do those things more as opposed to just thinking about them in your head. And then one thing you're looking forward to, always be looking forward to something, even if it's something little. Like today I'm going to fit in that Reese's cup. Today I'm going to fit in that Snickers bar, whatever it is. That's something you're looking forward to. It could be the stupidest thing, but it's important to you. One thing I want to touch base on with your check-in is your hunger. So this could be one of 2 things. If you are truly hungry throughout the day, like from morning until nighttime when you go to bed and you are feeling hunger, we are going to have to up your fats a little bit, your fats and carbs. Your protein will always stay the same. Your protein is literally always going to be the same. But if we up your calories, that just means that we're upping your carbs and fats a little bit. So if you are truly hungry with hitting those macros, we're going to up your calories a little bit, because I want you to be at your around your maintenance intake, caloric intake, with just being a little bit under that. So you're in a very slight deficit, nothing major. So Another thing could be if you're feeling hungry throughout the day, and I think I noticed this about one of your food logs, and we talked about it. Sometimes if people have, like, say for breakfast you had, it was mostly protein dense with a very low fat protein and low fat carbs, you're going to feel hungry because you're missing that fat intake factor within that meal. So sometimes people will wake up and drink a coffee and have a banana, and they're hungry shortly after because they're not getting enough protein and fats within that meal. So having a balanced meal of the carbs, fats, and proteins is going to keep you fuller for longer. So sometimes maybe a third or halfway through the day, we're just not eating enough of those fats and proteins within our meals, like, and or either fats or fats and proteins. And that's why we're feeling hungry mostly through the day. And then we end up like almost soothing that need and binging later on because our body needs it, and that's what we're trying to fill up on later in the day because we lacked it earlier in the day. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I mentioned a couple weeks ago that instead of overloading protein on one of your meals like breakfast, you could have lowered the protein a little bit and added in some fats and carbs and made it more of a balanced meal. And then you're going to be fuller for longer and getting in enough protein, because I think you had like way high protein for that meal. You should never go around over like 30 grams of protein for a meal. Like, our body can't even process more than that and break it down at a time. So I think you had like a 50, it was like double the amount, or double protein shakes or something like that, which just do one protein bulky dense item, and then have your fats and proteins with that, or your fats and carbs with that, sorry. So hopefully that makes sense. And let me know, you mentioned that you're going heavier on the machines with the weights. Let me know if you go to a gym sometimes. Because if you're using the machines and doing like an upper body workout or leg machines or whatever, I want to make sure you're doing an effective, efficient workout with at the gym with the weights and machines. So if you're not, just let me know if you aren't doing one of the workouts on the workout lineup from home, and if you're doing it at the gym instead, so I can give you a specific workout to do at the gym, and that will be delivered through the Trainerize app. And it's literally something that you can either write down or play it out because it plays for you in the app. So let me know on that. It's super important. And yeah, that's it. Just honestly, great job with accountability and the things that you're supposed to be turning in and filling out. And a lot of it is for me to view, but a lot of it's also for yourself as well. And it's not about perfection. It's just about gaining that consistency with the things that matter. So people try to do all of the right things perfectly, and it gets overwhelming and you get burnt out. And then we almost like completely shut down and stop almost, and we just lose motivation and momentum. And my tactic and way of doing this is to focus on a few things at a time over time. And then you're gaining more knowledge, you're gaining more momentum with it, you're gaining more strength with it, you're getting better and better with learning a little bit at a time as time goes. So all of the things that you're going to need to know to have success and to understand what you're doing and why, you'll know by the end of training. And it's a little bit at a time, and you'll have that with you to take forever, that education and that knowledge. And the more we know about something, the more we're going to do it because we understand it, and then we find value in it and a purpose. So yeah, it's never about perfection. And if you feel like you had a couple days that were totally off, it's okay, because just start again and keep going. And that's what matters. But yeah, hopefully this helped. Don't forget to do those Premier shakes because they are good to have on hand, and they're not expensive at all. And then scope out these zero fat carbs that are sweet, that could curb your sweet tooth. And yeah, that's it. We'll talk soon.